This is a PCC, and I wish I had it just earlier because I made a video comparing so many PCCs, or pistol caliber carbines. And well, to make it short, it's an AR-9, but this one goes about it a little differently in one way specifically, and that is suppression. And it's from Outlier, well, at least the upper is, and we'll get into what makes it what. But this is an Outlier backdraft system. If you're subscribed, you may have seen that with my bolt action. I have a 6.5 Creedmoor with a backdraft barrel system, and I made a whole video with that. But just a real quick summary on it, and that is a precision rifle, bolt action rifle. It is a carbon fiber barrel, almost like a shroud, with the rifling of the barrel underneath that. And the way it works is once the gases go to the end, it hits the Outlier backdraft suppressor and sends all the gases back to where it almost uses the whole length of a 26-inch barrel kind of as a suppressor, but it's not a suppressor. But all suppression is slowing down the pressure of the gases to, of course, make it quieter. In that precision rifle, a bolt action, it had a lot of barrel to work with. It expanded all the pressures back. And so what I got from it is with a 4-inch suppressor, it was as quiet as a full-length suppressor. And with a 6-inch suppressor, it was just a bit quieter than a full-length suppressor. And either way, it ran a lot cooler. I would get a lot less mirage off my suppressor. Overall, I won't dive too far into it, but check out that video because it was a full video on that. And that was, again, an Outlier barrel for a 6.5 Creedmoor. They have other calibers as well. So I was checking their website, and they had this thing, minus the lower, a complete upper with that same backdraft system for an AR-9. So again, all those benefits for the precision rifle world. What does that really mean for a 9mm PCC? I don't know. Maybe it'll run a little cooler. I don't know how much quieter it'll be to something more conventional, but might as well find out. And also the price point is nothing too crazy either. You do need a lower to complete it. This is a lower receiver from FM Products. It's called the Mic 9. As far as the upper, it is fully assembled, complete. You have traditional charging as well as side charging. And as far as the 9mm suppressor to make the backdraft system do the backdraft things, the suppressor actually comes with the upper in the price, and that in itself is something to mention as well. As of the last time I checked, fully assembled upper, AR-9 upper with the backdraft suppressor to make the whole backdraft system work as a backdraft, it's $599, but Outlier usually always has some kind of sale going on, and right now they actually hooked you guys up with a coupon code that's Texas Plinking, and it brings it to just a tick under 480 bucks, $479.99, something like that. And that is, as you see it, without the lower. As far as options out there, this is the 7-inch, and there's also a 10-inch. Now here is something worth noting as well if you're considering one of these. If you don't have the Outlier suppressor specific for the backdraft system, right away you do have 1/2x28 threads. And so the Outlier suppressor doesn't utilize this. This is just so you could use some kind of suppressor if you already have one while you're waiting on your Outlier. But there's also some other threads in there. I don't know what the pitch is. It might be proprietary to the Outlier stuff, but it does have the thread adapter to make it work. I can remove this adapter here, and this is actually just a hub compatible suppressor. So later in the video, I'm curious what this will do to other guns because it's this big, but only this much of it actually has some kind of gas trapment into it, not traditional baffles, but only this much of it is a traditional suppressor. Very interesting design there, and I'm curious if I threw that on like an MP5 or even a handgun, what that would be like, because again, it is hub compatible. But let's say you don't have this yet. The way it works is you do get the upper, then after purchasing your AR-9, you get it delivered, then you get a rebate to claim your suppressor, and then you go through that process. But until then, again, 1/2x28 threads just to get going and suppressed. But here's an interesting point, and I don't have concrete answers for you, but I'm just speculating. I'm shooting this video mid-October, and right now I know a lot of people are talking about the $200 tax stamp that we've been having to pay and have to pay throughout the rest of the year, and how that's going away starting January. So a lot of people might be putting off a purchase for a suppressor until January, and I totally see why, so you don't pay the $200. I think with something like this, you could buy it now, you'll get the rebate, and I think you just claim that rebate, and by the time you get to that process sometime in January, you could just start getting through the process of getting this, the wait time and all that kind of stuff, to where maybe you just bypass that. But if you were to buy one now, at least you get your upper to play with, and you can suppress it with the 1/2x28 suppressor you may already have. Let's go ahead and start off by doing something I haven't done on or off camera, and that is shoot it totally unsuppressed. This particular lower takes Glock mags, and we're going to try quite a few different ones. Let's go with a Glock 19X mag. Not perfectly zeroed, but might be worth fine-tuning it. Might be on the left side and low. Again, this is a hub compatible suppressor, but it doesn't look like it because of this adapter from Outlier that comes with it. And so here you have your 1/2x28 with the thread protector, and then under it, if you can see these threads, that's the adapter that comes with it. So we go ahead and just put it on like so. And that is a tiny and very lightweight suppressor. So Might not really be a great standalone suppressor if I put on something else, but we're gonna try that later anyway. But now with that on there, let's go ahead and finish the rest of this mag. Not much in there. All right, it is very low. All right, I think I'm gonna take my time and adjust that. All right, all zeroed up now, shooting right where I aim it, so now it's on me. Let's try this mag. This is what comes with the new Staccato HDs. They are Glock mags, but they are made by Metgar, so they're metal mags. Let's try that out. Well, can't blame the misses on a bad zero now. No lockback on that particular one. We could keep on trying though. Now, real quick, I will say, sound-wise, for a lot of shooting, like I'm doing right now, I would still have some hearing protection. I think longevity, that's always a smart thing to do. This is some novelty mag though, ETS translucent mags. That's where I get iffy results on reliability, but let's go ahead and just try it out here. This is the only lower I've tested it with, the FM products. So I don't know if it's this particular catch or what, if it's my particular buffer tube. Haven't really experimented with another lower because I don't have another lower to experiment with. So that lockback, I don't know how much of that's gonna be the lower or the upper, but anyway. Cool, that was a good little burn down. Let's go ahead and see how long it takes to cool down just for curiosity's sakes. Maybe we'll try the 10-inch upper, just compare some things. And what's really gonna be ridiculous is trying this suppressor on other non-backdraft systems. So a lot of these gases go back into the barrel more or less, but not in the rifling, but in here. So it uses up 7 inches of barrel on that last one to slow gases down. Well, this is the 10-inch, so it has 3 inches more to slow down. Wonder how much different it is, but let's wait for it to cool down a little bit and swap over. Really only let a few minutes go by and warm to the touch for sure, but good grip, pretty good, not too bad. And by the way, some of the not locking back thing, I figured out, I think it really is the lower. It was kind of getting cruded up here, but I might have fixed it for now. But like right now, for example, it's not coming up. So that's not so much on the upper. There we go, just a little cruddy. Wish I had another lower to experiment with, but why not? Let's just go ahead and swap it on over. YouTube might think this is gunsmithing, so I'll see you guys in just a little bit. You're always gonna get slightly softer recoil and maybe slightly, you know, quieter sound going longer, but now it's not just a longer barrel, it's 3 inches more of the backdraft system. So let's see what kind of difference it makes. Zeroed enough anyway. Yeah, no lockback. Ugh, as expected. That immediately feels quite a bit softer. I didn't think the 3-inch difference on the backdraft barrel would make it that much softer to shoot, but it wasn't bad, but just became that much softer. Put it in the dirt. Quite a bit quieter, for sure. I feel like before it was right on the verge of having my ear ring. This is well below that. Yeah, I'll still put this on just for longevity, but that's not too bad. So sound-wise, just real quick, I think I have enough impressions to kind of wrap it up, but we're still gonna shoot for fun. The thing to write home about with this is not that it's uber quiet. My Dead Air Mojave 9 isn't any louder. It may even be just a little quieter. So I don't think that's the ticket with this. How fast it cools down is the really impressive part. That is actually kind of blowing my mind, just like with the 6.5 Creedmoor. And then the price. For $479, that would be a good price for the suppressor alone. And that's why I'm looking forward to just talking about this as a suppressor alone on other stuff. I might even throw it on a handgun, see what the heck happens. Decision is between the 7 and 10, which one do you go with? Your call. Both of them are pretty darn cool. That's cool, that's cool. It's running all the mags fine. It's good for nothing if it can't feed hollow points. Everything we've been doing has been full metal jackets. Let's try some Staccato Match 136. This is what was not feeding out of my Strybog at all, and that was kind of annoying. So let's try it here. That's pretty soft. I wish I got lock back. Again, I might just have to find another lower. What a cool upper though. We're done with the backdraft AR-9 upper. Let's go ahead and just talk about the suppressor alone, because $479, again, that's the price of a suppressor on a good day. So let's see what it could do on other stuff. And so I took the suppressor and put, with the hub adapter, 1/2x28 threads here. It's this short of a 9mm suppressor. I mean, that is tiny. And this is all space. It's an open chamber. Is it gonna do anything? I don't know. So let's go ahead and take an MP5, shoot 7 rounds unsuppressed, and 7 rounds with that suppressor, because I have 1/2x28s here. So weird, I don't know. Let's just dump it into the dirt here. Quiet it down some. Not the quietest thing I got, but okay. I would say that is right at the cusp of ringing my ears, but it doesn't, if that does anything to you guys. No, it's well below ringing my ears. It's got more pop than a traditional suppressor, but it's a freaking tiny suppressor with only that much of it being some kind of suppression. Kind of cool. Will I need a Nielsen device or a booster if I put it on a 9mm handgun? I don't know. If I do need that, I have it with me. So, I don't know. These are about to get very interesting. And this has no Nielsen device, just direct thread 1/2x28. It just seems so lightweight. It seems like I may not need it at all. No, for sure not. I knew that didn't kick enough. Is it all the way? Okay, it'll definitely need some help. All right, swapped it out with the Nielsen device from, I don't even know what company. I hope this is all useful for somebody. Anyway, now we got the Outlier suppressor that comes with the AR-9 upper with the booster. You'd have to get separate on a Hellcat Pro. These are Full Metal Jacket subsonics, and if this doesn't work, we're gonna try different ammo. That worked with no lockback. Okay, well, I happen to have a couple rounds of Hornady defensive 9mm hollow point stuff. All right, back to the platypus with the suppressor and the booster, but with the Hornady defensive stuff. Maybe it's got enough juice. Ah, all right. All right, I'm doing all the research for y'all. Okay, it was just an underpowered ammo thing. These are supersonics going out now. Why did I do any of that? Just because if I make a video on this guy and this guy alone saying, hey, look, the new backdraft AR-9 upper that comes with a suppressor, kind of cool, but that suppressor is kind of cool in its own right. I mean, just that little stubby compact thing. It's cool. So this could have almost just been a suppressor review that comes with an AR-9 upper, or vice versa, however you want to see it. But Outlier, $5.99, not a terrible price, but as of right now, don't know if it's going to change, but $479.99 with code TexasPlinking at checkout. I would say with this, it's not any quieter than a traditional suppressor, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. It's the matter of how fast it cools and just the price point and the size and the weight and everything, and the fact that it's so universal because it's hub compatible. A lot of experimental stuff going on there. I feel like next time I do something like this, I should be in a lab coat, but anyway, had a lot of fun doing it. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.